Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some irises in a garden. Should be a pretty fun project, I think, middle difficulty, something like that. I'll show you step by step how to do it all the way through. We're going to go Impressionist style, so it'll be a little bit easier than a more realistic style would be. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to be manning chat for our live show, so if you've got questions during the show, you can ask those, and I will try to answer them. Let's get started. All right, so this is a photograph that I took in my garden several years ago. I wish they still looked this good. Don't.
Before I got to it.
Yeah, before Mark mowed half of them down. No, not really.
No, that's true.
The bird seed spilled in it too. That anyhow, It's a long story. I have plenty of time to get to it. Let me go over our palette really quick.
See, I'm not ready.
Okay, well, I'll go over the brushes then while you're waiting. So I've got a large flat. Oh, switched it off there. We've got a large flat. These are my Princeton brushes. This is 6100 series, are the ones with the green handles. They're really nice firmness. They've got a nice snap to them. They're a white synthetic. So this one's the number 10 bright. And then I've got the two Filberts, the number 6 and the number 4 Filbert. And then a number 4 bright. And then a number 2 flat. And then various rounds. I've got the 4, 2, 1, and 2/0 rounds. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of these, but it's good to have them out just in case. And then I've got a couple of different brushes here. The Filbert Select number 6 in case we want a smaller Filbert. And then the VelvetTouch Angle Shader, 3/8 inch. All right, so those are my brushes. And we might use a fan because I might have to splatter today. We'll see. This is number 2 fan. And it's like, let's go over our palette. It's titanium white, unbleached titanium, burnt sienna, burnt umber, quinacridone magenta, cadmium red medium, cadmium red light, cadmium orange, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium yellow light, yellow oxide, phthalo green yellow shade, phthalo blue green shade, Ultramarine Blue, and Dioxazine Purple. If you missed those, they're all down in the description, along with the links to where you can buy them on Amazon and thebrushguys.com. So be sure to check that out if you want any of these. And I'm going to go ahead and put out a little glazing liquid too for the background while we're putting it on. It might be helpful to have a little bit of that. It'll just extend our drying time a little bit. This is the golden acrylic glazing liquid satin.
Hey, you got some paint on your bottle there.
Huh? I got a little bit. Yeah, it's been through the ringer. Actually, doesn't look too bad, honestly. And then I've also got the Fredrix Pro Belgian Linen Archival Canvas Board. This is a 9x12 inch size, and Fredrix is our sponsor for canvases, and Princeton is our sponsor for brushes. So thanks to both of those companies for sending us their products. They don't pay me for it, but I used them already, so it was just a no-brainer to go ahead and partner with them. So I'm going to grab a little bit of white and a little bit of green and mix that up, and then I'm going to add some yellow oxide to kind of tone it down so that it's not quite so bright. And we're going to do this background back here behind our irises. And I've got the large bright, the number 10 bright. And I'm just going to use kind of little short choppy brush strokes. This grass back here kind of grows in sections, so I'm just going to kind of do these little horizontal layers all the way down. We're not going to go for realism necessarily back here. We're just kind of going for covering the ground, and grab a little bit of brown. Pretty light back here though, because we want some contrast behind our flowers. So I want to say welcome to our live audience today. If I haven't already said hi, I kind of welcomed you at the beginning of the show, but not quite. directly. So we're glad to have you watching with us today. Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far.
It's a special day today.
It is. It's St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
We were prepping by listening to some Irish folk songs for the show.
Folk rock.
Folk rock, yeah.
Other things.
Thin Lizzy. I didn't realize they were an Irish band, but apparently they are, according to Google Play. Got some yellow, cadmium yellow light here that I've added to this.
You got your nails hooked up there?
Huh?
Get your fingernails hooked up?
Oh, yeah. My
In the
fingernails
theme?
I don't remember the name of the color. I forgot to look at it again.
Green.
But yeah,
Vert.
we're all in it. We're having fun. I even got out my lucky pin. They don't make them like that anymore. His poor smile kind of wore off. He used to have a smile on the pearl head there.
Don't we have pins from our McDonald's days
Oh, we do.
that were like shamrock shapes?
I've
or
had this one
something?
since the 70s, I think. Maybe 80s. I don't know. But he's been around a while.
Man, you're not that old.
They don't make them like this anymore. They're pretty sweet. I'm not that old. I wish that was true. Okay, so just see how we're doing, kind of these like layers. Color just to give it a little bit of interest in the background. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but this way it's not just plain green behind our flowers. And then now that I'm kind of working about halfway down, I'm going to start transitioning to some really dark colors. In fact, I might go ahead and start at the bottom and work my way up a little bit. Get some burnt sienna. And some of that phthalo green. And it's going to look really kind of ugly and dark, but we're going to be glad we have these dark colors underneath our irises because they're going to be such a bright color. We'll have this nice dark contrast behind them. And we'll have to do less work when we add our greenery. You got to have contrast for your colors to pop. Pop. I wonder if there's a better way of saying that. I don't know.
Saying pop.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Soda. Make them soda.
never mind. I'm sorry I asked.
Just trying to help out here.
Grabbing some phthalo blue. This will make a teal color. So we'll add this back in here. Just trying to help. Thank you, honey. You're very helpful. That was
So if you want a traceable just for the grass, how do you do that? No? I mean, this is looking a lot like how I would do it.
Thanks a lot. I don't think that's a compliment. Somehow.
Just hoping that you're going to step it up a little bit here in a little while, because
So far, not good.
they can see this on my channel.
All right. So now I'm going to mix these two together. So I'm going to grab some of this color and mix it with that turquoise color that I have right here. And we'll just blend those two sections together. I'm going to add a little water to my brush. It's getting dry. If your paint's not going on smoothly onto your canvas, one of the things that I get a lot of comments about is that people saying that their paints don't go as far as mine do. That they're using up a lot of paint. And at this point, if I didn't add water to my paint, the tendency would be to grab more paint and just try to hoping that adding more paint will make the brush flow on the canvas better. But honestly, once your brush kind of runs out of water and is not moist anymore, it doesn't matter how much paint you're adding to it. You're just wasting paint at that point because you really need to just hydrate your brush. That's all there is to it. If you just kind of dip your brush into water every now and then, go ahead and do side cam so they can see me loading into the water every now and then.
Did you actually ask for side cam?
I did.
Wow, this is an awesome day. There's side cam.
Okay, so every now and then I'm just dipping the corner of my brush, and really I'm not going all the way to the silver part, because if you get it up in here then it just becomes soggy. But I dip a little bit into that the water, and then I go into my paint, and that will hydrate my brush, and it allows my paint to go farther. So, quick tip there. Grab a little bit more of that dark green, like a little bit more of that teal color with adding some phthalo blue in there, and just add a little bit of that in here. I don't want it to get too light. I kind of got my light colors pulled down here. I still want to keep it fairly dark back here. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my brush to the side, and I'm just going to pull through and do some sort of random little brush strokes. I'm not really worrying too much about these. They're going to be kind of wispy and in the background, but I just want some sort of brush strokes that looks like grasses. And then I'm going to grab some of that lighter color and pull it down this way through it. Grab some of that yellow and white. And I'm going to pull some of those kind of down through there too. I really want this side to be a little bit higher than the other side, so I might pull these up a little bit higher. Grab some of that darker color and pull some of these grasses up a little higher on this side. It's going to be kind of angled a little bit. All right, that's good. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to let Mark take that and dry it for me real good. And then we will do our next step. And since we've got some time, I'll grab our Stickman. We've been missing Stickman for a while. I keep forgetting to use him. So he's Mark's little creation, our mascot, Stickman. I'm going to give him a little, maybe we should give him a little St. Patrick's Day hat. Let's give him that. We'll give him a little top hat like he's a leprechaun. We add something to him depending on whatever it is we're painting each time. Usually matches whatever it is we're working on, but for St. Patrick's Day we'll give him a little hat. Cute. Oh, we're not too bad because we did the Flamingo 2 weeks ago, so we just missed last week. I can't remember. Oh, we did the ocean last week. Ocean wave. Well, Mark's taking his time there, so maybe I should go ahead and do that. If you're new to our channel, I hope that you are enjoying today's show, and if you would like to see more, you can subscribe, and if you click on the here, I'll do a little wave here. If you click on the little bell icon that's next to the subscribe button, it will actually send you email notifications when I have new videos. So even existing subscribers, if you're not remembering show times or whatever, you can click on that at any time. And okay, that doesn't look like much like a wave, but that's all right. We're filling time. There we go. Thank you, hon. Did you get any any paint injuries? You okay?
Not this time. I'm doing all right.
Very good. Good. Glad to hear it.
I'm a professional.
All right, so I'm going to switch to a number 4 bright here. This might not be big enough for our grasses. We'll see how it does. So I want to create our large, tall grasses for our irises. So I'm going to use their leaves are kind of a soft teal color, kind of an sage green. So I'm going to go ahead and use the phthalo blue and phthalo green together. Mix up quite a bit of that. And then I want to tone it down a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of the burnt sienna to it. That will... Our neighbor's making a lot of noise out there today. It's like you got a new four-wheeler or something.
It is a nice day out there.
It is. It's very nice. Mark mowed the lawn for the first time this year.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, but I'm happy the lawnmower started.
Not happy that you're having to start this early in the year.
Yeah.
It is kind of early to start mowing. Okay, adding a little bit of white here.
Oh, we got a question.
Okay.
How do you know which color to use to tone down a color?
That's a good question. I use a neutral color usually, so I use either a brown or kind of a brownish yellow, like yellow ochre or burnt umber, burnt sienna. You can also use the opposite color on the color wheel. So like in this case, I could use a red to go opposite my green. A lot of artists do that. I tend to use the browns myself, but yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But okay, there we go. Actually, before I do this, I think I want to go ahead and draw out where I want my irises so I can kind of plan my leaves a little bit better. Let me see if I can find a color that'll show up against this green. Can you see any of that? No, not really.
If I zoom in a little bit, I can.
No, I don't want you to zoom in.
Oh, I'm zooming in.
Right, there you go. I really want it to be white. Just have to be careful when you're drawing. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on paper, and that way you can see what I'm going to be doing, and I won't have to worry about punching through my colors there. But our iris. Well, now I'm doing it on the wrong thing because now I can't see what I'm referring to here. Let me grab my notebook real quick. Okay, so your basic iris shape are going to be either like this. So it's kind of out to the side and up. There's 3 leaves on the iris, so if you looked at it straight from the top, you've got 3 coming down, curving down, and 3 in between, curving up, like that. Of course, these ones at the top are folding up towards each other, and these ones are going down. So these are going up, 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 and these are going down. So depends on how you're looking at it. You're either seeing the big tongue of the iris and these side leaves with an opening in the middle, like that. So, or you're going to see it the big, like this, the big front face of one of these side petals, and 2 of them coming down like this in between, and then usually the stem. Okay. So those are our kind of 2 basic shapes, and then of course some of them, their buds are going to be this teardrop shape, and a lot of times they kind of emerge out the top, so you might see a little bit of color peeking out the top just as they're opening up. And then, you know, some of them, if they're a little bit fuller, like this one here, it's just starting to open up, so you're seeing these petals sort of kind of start to fold down out of that thing. So hopefully that made sense. Quick little iris tip. So this one, you wouldn't see this thicker part of the stem on the side, on the ones where the petals are coming off to the sides. You're seeing the center, or the stem part there. And then this one, this is widening right behind this petal, so you're not seeing it. So, and it does kind of more like a tongue shape almost. Okay.
Okay. Somebody asked, are iris petals actually called leaves?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. Did you say leaves? I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying.
I'm not sure.
No, somebody's going to make me have to look something up. Thanks.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know.
Thanks, Sissy. Giving me work to do.
That's a good question. I wasn't aware that it was, but it could very well be. Some flowers are like that. They're not. The flower is not actually considered a flower. It's considered part of a leaf or something. So I'm going to do... So there, we'll do one big one down here. This one's showing up very good. We'll do some little buds. I'm going to keep them fairly small. I was kind of trying to decide if I wanted to do them big or small, but I've got ones with flowers that are about that size. So I've linked that up in the iCards. And then we're going to do one that is the full size canvas, like one of my large flower series later on this year. So we'll have all three versions. So you can do these more detailed later if you want. I'm not going to put all of them in. I'm just going to kind of select my favorites and try to kind of stagger them in an interesting way. Look at that. Let's do this one. Some of these were really pretty. They were like roughly petals. Very fancy. I got them from my friend who was... She didn't want to mow. She wasn't a gardener. So she bought a house and it had all these irises and she was going to get rid of them. So, which was just like totally, I don't know. I don't understand that, but
Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
And yes, people claim that you said leaves.
Oh, okay.
So you're spreading fake news.
Sorry.
Don't believe everything you hear on the internet, people. It says the three sepals, which are usually spreading or drooping downwards, are referred to as falls.
Falls, okay.
They expand from their narrow base into a broader expanded portion and can be dotted with veining lines or dots. So there you go.
What are the top ones called? Well, if you're going to...
3 sometimes reduced petals stand upright, partly behind the sepal bases.
Sepal bases.
They are called standards.
Standards, okay.
I'm learning more about irises than I ever thought I would.
Or wanted to know.
I wouldn't normally be sitting around on a Saturday afternoon reading about irises. No. No.
Missing out.
Or generally reading.
True. Or reading it all, yeah. Very true. I'm going to hope that I can remember which ones of these flowers that I'm looking at when I'm trying to paint these back in later. Okay.
Yes, and I said falls, not ornaments.
Somebody asked you that? That's great. Bonus points forever that was.
That was Trisha B.
Yeah,
one of your mods.
Oh, yeah. Trisha.
I might have to put her on timeout.
Nice, Trisha. I like it. Okay. And a couple, I don't know if you can see all those, but just kind of doing general shapes, tall to kind of short, and some like lower ones. All right. Oh, man.
Now it's ruined.
I dropped it all over my paper. At least I didn't get it my canvas.
Okay, we'll start over.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to make some sort of start some stems there on some of these. And really, I don't need to worry too much about them. Actually, that's way too tall. I don't want it that high. And keep these ones down low. So probably what I would do is sketch these out on paper first, and have yourself like your drawing. You know, I'll have a drawing of this once I get it finished, so you can use that traceable if you want to. But it'll help to not have to worry about going around your flowers here like I am. If you have it traced on paper, then you can put the original tracing down, you can do your leaves, and then you can trace over any flowers that you've covered up and do it again, if that makes sense. So I am just doing long brush strokes, kind of interwoven, making sure that they're overlapping well. The leaves come in close to this, close to the height of the flower, so the flowers just kind of barely peek out above them, but the leaves are very long and thin, kind of blade-like. So I'm going to come right off the canvas with some of these and cover up the bottom edges, cover up any ugly bits if you didn't like, you know, any parts of your initial painting down here. You can put in, now you can see why we needed that dark, can't you? Now it's starting to kind of make sense. Hopefully we haven't even started adding the light bits, but we've got kind of a medium green here that we're using.
Okay, I got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is just let everybody know that we are live
Yes.
every Saturday.
Yes.
At 2 p.m. Central Time. Thing may be a little wonky this week because the United States went on daylight saving time last week.
Yeah.
And some parts of the world have not yet, so the time difference may be off a little bit.
Okay.
But every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central, and you can set a reminder on the video. Angela posts the link a few days ahead of schedule, so you can go onto her YouTube page and find the upcoming event and set a reminder. The little bell.
Mm-hmm. And you can also just do it for your account in general.
What?
If you want to get all notifications and not just a specific painting. So I've got the white here now. I've added a little bit of yellow to it, but it was too close to that background color, so I'm going to have to save that for down in here. So I'm going to add some lighter colored highlights, and I'm trying not to cover over the leaf completely so that some of the dark is still showing. Yeah, that's working. I'm going to start from the back and work my way to the front. And that way, if I overlap any of the dark areas, I can go back over and kind of crisscross them in so that they're looking like these ones are farther back. I don't think I made that, I don't know if that made sense at all, but
Yeah, I think it did.
okay.
And then Carrie wants to know, how do you use blending medium? Do you mix it with each blob of paint?
Here, I'll use a little bit here. I use it kind of like water when I'm working on an area where I'm, wanting to blend. So I don't use it. I don't put it in the puddles. I just grab it as I need it. And, if I need a little extra, or I know I'm going to, be blending back and forth over an area. I forgot to use it in the background. Put it out there and then I forgot to use it. Okay, I'm going to do a few. Let's do some big ones that are kind of covering. And this is going to be the important part, to kind of go over the top of some of these that are already in here. You may even add some new leaves that you haven't painted before. But I'm mainly going over some of the colors that I put in. I'm going to grab some phthalo green here. Do some brighter phthalo green in a couple spots. Now, as I get down to the bottom here, I can change my color a little bit so that it also sort of separates the sections a little bit. Make sure I've got my stems for each one of these irises leading up to it. Well, I lost that one completely. Let's add some yellow green down in here to some of these. And they're not going to be super bright green all over. Just use this little pop of yellow green kind of sparingly, because really that teal color is the main iris color, grass color. But go ahead and put that right through the middle of it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to do some shorter. You can see down here how some of these are real short, just barely popping out, so I want to do some of those. That'll really push everything quite far back.
So, what would people do if they can't draw?
Yeah,
and they want to do this.
I'll have the traceable available for it.
You will?
I will. I already mentioned that.
You did? No. I should be paying attention to the show.
That's okay.
I've been trying to answer technical questions over here.
Good.
So, hey, but if you're watching live, then subscribe to Angela's channel, jump into chat, can ask questions.
That's right.
Give us a thumbs up. It's St. Patrick's Day. Maybe we can get Angela to dance an Irish jig or something.
Not likely.
Finger, no?
Not
Finger
likely.
dance? No? Not likely. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Oh, Claire would like to know, what is the biggest sized painting you have ever done? So we have to classify, you've done murals.
I've done murals.
But I would say on a canvas.
On a canvas. The biggest mural that I've done is, it was probably 12 foot by 10 foot at the restaurant.
Yeah.
The biggest canvas was probably similar sized. It was those big. How big is sheetrock?
Huge.
8 foot by 4 foot.
Yeah,
and
something
then I
like
had
that.
4 of those, I think, for the church that one time.
Mm-hmm.
So we painted them, and they kind of went across the back of the side of the church. So that was probably the biggest one.
What about like a normal canvas?
It was like a river and the sky and stuff. Normal canvas, the biggest normal canvas I've done was a 6 foot by 4 foot, I think. Something bigger than me. I wouldn't be able to fit it in my studio anymore the way we've got it configured. It wouldn't work. I think I did that one out in the garage, if I'm not mistaken, because I didn't really have room in the house for it. I didn't want to get paint all over everything. All right, so there we go. That's our kind of grasses. You can see, you want enough dark and light, so that there's just enough depth there. So if you get, an area that gets too much one color, just add a little bit lighter color, a little bit darker color to adjust it however you need to. You can always go back in and add more of your background color too in between if you've kind of lost all of your shapes and they're not really making sense against the background. Just grab some of that background color and add some of it in. So I think that I'm happy with this though. So let's go ahead and start on our flowers. That's the fun part. Let me see. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with my smallest filbert here, and I'm at number 4. Since these flowers are so small, I don't know if I'm going to even use this bigger filbert at all. So let's see. What colors do we want to use? Let's do this one. I think I had one big... I lost my drawings completely. I don't even know what I had drawn anymore. I think this was a big pink one. I'm going to go ahead and start with that one. That'll be my focal point one. So I'm going to use Quinacridone Magenta and a little bit of purple. And I was going to have a picture for you, but it's similar to this color here. I have another photograph that I'm using that's a better photograph of that one. But I tried to print it out for you so you could see it, but I don't have it printed. It didn't print. My printer is missing from my computer all of a sudden, so I have no idea what happened. Just decided to leave. It's like, I've had it. I'm out of here. All right, so I'm doing the fall, right? That's the technical name. Little dabs there. Do those parts. This is kind of a roughly edged one, so I'm gonna use the edge of my brush to sort of create some little shapes there. And then grab a little bit of darker purple and quinacridone mixture and pull up from the center on either side. Create kind of a dark area in there.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes.
About your setup here. So you have your paint, you have your canvas propped up on a little board.
Yes.
It's just a part of an easel.
Yeah, it's a little wood part of an easel that I took apart, took from it.
And it had to be pretty, so she wrapped it in some...
Well, no, it was making noise every time
Oh, right.
So I had to pat it.
Well, it had to be pretty.
And also make it non-stick.
And you paint almost completely at the table.
Yeah.
Not even
pretty much.
Even when you're not doing it on video.
No, not unless I'm doing a large canvas. Then I'll go with a bigger.
And it's just your preference.
Yeah. I just like to hold it. I tend to do this. I tend to move my canvas around, and it's harder to do that on an easel. So, okay, so just adding little bits of white along the edges, pulling in. And I want to define this area right up in here, so I'm going to add a little bit of white bits there. I definitely need a smaller brush for these detail parts. But that's about all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go in and really, define it really carefully and all of that. I just want to kind of make it sort of the Impressionist. If you get the shape right, you can kind of play with the rest of it. It doesn't have to be exactly, that's the benefit of doing this kind of impressionist type painting is you don't have to have it perfect. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to grab my smaller, let's grab the number 1 round here. And a little bit of my Cadmium Red Medium, or Cadmium Red Light, I mean. And
I was about to call you out on that.
wrong.
What?
And just add a little right there. Okay, we'll probably add more to that, but we'll let that set for now and do the rest, and then we'll come back and add more details to these as we go. I think I'm going to switch to my smaller Filbert. This is a number 6. It's so funny the way things are numbered, even within the same brand. Somebody was asking me about that. How do I tell what number to buy? And I'm like, well, it just depends on the brand, because you look at this. This is the same company, and this one is the number 4, and this is the number 6. So it makes no sense. Just each brand, even within its same line, different lines that it carries, they all have different sizing. So it's very arbitrary. There's no rhyme or reason to it, really, that I've found. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of Ultramarine Blue. I'm seeing a little bit of blue in this, so I want to make sure that I do this before I forget. So Ultramarine Blue, a little bit of white here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of it to right here on the tongue of that one. Okay. Might need to be a little bit lighter. There we go. Okay, so let's use this color. I like this blue color here. And let's do a blue one right up in here next to this one. Right up tall. And this one I think is just starting to unfurl, so its leaves are not fully opened yet. Or maybe it's starting to close up. Either way. Get some dark color. This Ultramarine Blue is our base color for this one. Add a little bit of that. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger than my picture showing. There we go. And then grab that white and add a little bit of white details. Just a little white highlights. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to make this one fall down. Or I'm going to make it more like, well, this one. In my other picture, you see the back side of that one. Let me go ahead and make it. There we go. All right. Let's do a bud with this color. Down here. Grab some of my green. So sometimes they come off the same stalk. You're going to start to see the bud grow up off the same stem. So I'm going to put that one in as if that bud is starting to open up right there. What are you laughing at?
You don't want to know.
Okay. Take your word for it. What did I say? Did I say something?
No.
Okay. It's group. It's the chat.
No. It's just what I thought I heard.
Oh. I'm using some old unbleached titanium here. All right, I'm going to not ask then. Don't ask, don't tell.
That's right. We'll just move on.
Okay. Good plan. Got the phthalo blue there. All right. It's looking good. How long have we been going? Oh, not even an hour yet. Not bad.
No, we're doing all right.
Not bad. Okay, might do a little bit darker ultramarine blue, just like straight up ultramarine blue. Down in here, just kind of add a little bit of it. Give it a little extra contrast. I think these are getting a little too close to the same value as the background. So this one needs darker too, so I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm noticing now it's way too light in the center part here. So this will give it, punch up that contrast, give it much more depth. It's going to look funky at first, but I'll blend it in. Okay, see how that already kind of makes it look a little bit better. And then we'll grab some of that middle value color and sort of blend these together a little bit, just dabbing around the edges a little bit. Okay. There we go. Well, let's do a really dark purple one right over here. I'm going to grab the ultramarine blue and the purple. And we'll do one right here. Very roughly. Oops. Okay, I'll move that way a little bit.
You tried.
I tried.
But I cut you this time.
Thanks. Okay. Remember, we've got the 3 leaves, so we're seeing just a little bit of this one. 3 petals, sorry. Thank you.
Ornaments.
Exactly. You may have to do that. You may just, because obviously I've got that in my head to say, and you know what happens when that
You'd be saying
it goes down when it gets something stuck in my head. All right, adding a little bit of white to this. What'd you say?
Said you'll be saying it all show.
Yeah, I will. I need to just little dabs of color here, and I'm just kind of looking at the direction. A general rule of thumb is that these everything is pointing to this. So if you kind of keep that in mind, all of the ends of these petals are going to be pointing down into this center area. That's where they're growing from. So these petals are curving down this way. These petals are curving down this way. So just keep that in mind when you're putting in your brush strokes and these little highlights, that you want them to be all kind of making sense of the way that they're pointing. This one is, the highlights are kind of coming off the top, and then this part's darker because it's underneath. See that? All right, I'm going to call that good. And there's a little bit of white on this one. The center is white. Put a little bit of white right there. This one, we're not seeing the center, right? We're not seeing that part. We might see a tiny bit of it poking out the side here, possibly. This one actually is white as well on these blue ones, so I can kind of put a little bit of something there if we want something peeking out, but I think that that's probably good enough. And let's give this one a little bud as well, maybe on this side this time.
We need to get candy in quieter packages.
That's true. We were at the movies the other day, and I was thinking that too. It was like a...
Not that we brought in...
No, not that we brought in contraband candy at
No.
all to the theater.
No.
Theater.
It was a candy
In theory, it was candy that we
right.
bought there, but the package was so loud when I got, the M&Ms out. I read somewhere that they do that on purpose, though, as a psychological thing, like that the sound of it is part of the experience.
Comes candy.
Exactly. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it makes sense. So there's this papery stuff that happens. So I'm going to add that to my stem there. There we go. Grab some burnt umber, and I'm going to add some burnt umber on the sides of those to define them a little bit. I think that'll help. You choking on your candy over there?
Yep.
Are you okay?
Yep. All right. Okay. I'm being very quiet over here.
I see that.
We're hunting wabbit.
Okay. And grab the brown, add some brown. There's some of that unbleached titanium to that brown. Just trying to get the right color here for these because they're not showing up against that green, so I just want to punch up the contrast a little bit around the outsides of them. Okay. Let's go ahead and put some of this color in a couple of these other places where we know we're going to want it. And you're not going to see every stem because some of them are going to be covered up by all these grasses and things that are in front. So don't feel like you have to define every single stem or every single one. It'll actually probably look a little bit artificial if you do that. So I'm going to tone that one down a little bit. Okay. So far, so good. Let me think here. So let's go ahead and do another dark purple one over here. Kind of bounce it out down low. Maybe add a little bit of Quinacridone Magenta this time so it's a little bit more, a slightly different color. Okay, a little bit of white. How's our audience doing tonight? Or today, I should say.
They're doing great.
Yeah. No questions or anything? Just watching.
No. Somebody asked how Patreon worked.
Oh, okay.
So there's a link down below the video.
Yeah, Patreon is just, it's just a way for you and I to, or for me to offer some, I just pulled that paint right off of there with my fingernail polish. That was weird. I have different perks. So like Tuesday night this week, we're doing our bonus video for the month of March. Once a month, I do a special Patreon only bonus video. I have a Facebook page where the members that have paid for access to that Facebook group get to vote on whatever we're going to be painting for the month of March in our bonus video. Plus, we also do special, right now we're doing a mixed media project all month on Mondays. So there's extra bonus videos in there. And then for $1, it's just traceables. The $5 level, as well as the bonus video, they also get a color high-res photos of all the paintings that I do. So after this is done, I'll take a close-up photograph of it and post it on Patreon, and that way those who are going to be painting it can have that as reference. And you can use it as a screensaver or whatever. It's a really good high-quality photograph of the paintings to use. As long as you don't sell them.
Yeah, so down below the video that you can hit see more, it'll drop down and show all the description of all the paints that you're using, brushes, links to Amazon store to buy stuff, all social media, and there's a link to Patreon down there. Takes you to her store or site, and you can subscribe. It's a monthly billing, I believe.
Right, yeah, it's monthly. You can cancel it anytime you want to. So, you know, if you just want 1 month and sign up and then cancel immediately, as long as, you know, as soon as it charges you, it'll give you access for that month. It is the month, though. It's not...
it's a calendar month.
Yeah, it's a calendar month, not the number of days. So it's not like 30 days. It's all of March, and then in April you have to purchase again to stay in there. So I wish they did it differently, but they don't. So I have no control over that.
So we do appreciate,
you know, a little bit of yellow here. Sorry.
The support.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, it's been amazing to be able to
the generosity.
It's been incredible. Honestly, it's been an amazing year, and I've been so blown away by the generous support that everybody's given us. It's really allowed us to upgrade a bunch of our equipment and do all kinds of fun things that we wouldn't normally get to do. These bonus videos are definitely ones that I would not normally get to do because they're, you know, they're long and time-consuming videos. So having that kind of supplementary support has allowed me to do some stuff that I wouldn't normally do. You know, those long 2-hour videos or 2 or 3 hour, you know, super complicated videos just don't get a lot of views on YouTube a lot of times. And sadly, you know, if you're going to run a business, you kind of have to go with where the money is. So, you know, that's just the way it works. So Patreon allows us to do some fun stuff that we wouldn't normally get to do.
So have you selected the bonus
video? Not yet. They're voting on it right now. I have to tally the votes. I think that either the cherry blossom trees or what was the other thing in there?
A tank.
No.
Darn it.
I don't know why I'm messing with that painting or that one there.
Yeah, just move on.
Huh?
Just move on.
I know. Well, I've got to fix it.
So voting is going on right now.
Yeah, voting is going on right now. I'll be posting that link for the Patreon folks here later on today, probably.
And an important
or Monday
point to know is that when you sign up, you know, the dollar level for the traceable, that's all traceables back to February 2017.
Yes.
It's not just this month. So
right. Yeah. It's all
the same thing for the $5 level, the access to the
all
private videos that are there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not too shabby.
No, it's not. It's a pretty good deal.
For the price of a Happy Meal.
Huh?
Price of a Happy Meal.
Exactly. Yeah. Add a little highlight to that. There we go. Okay, so let's see what other colors we want to do. Let's do some yellow. We haven't done yellow yet. Let's do this one yellow. Or no, this one was yellow right up here. This is the yellow with the kind of burgundy tongue there. So I'm going to use the Cadmium Yellow Medium. Put a lot of that color out for some reason. Oh, I think I was thinking we were going to use it in the grass, and I didn't. So yellow is one of those colors that you may end up having to use white with it, or put down white first and then paint over it. So I'm going to go ahead and put out some white, mix that with my cadmium yellow so that it makes it more opaque. Cadmium yellow is already kind of an opaque yellow to begin with, so it should cover fairly well, but having a little white in there will help. And some irises are fuller than others. Some are kind of taller. These ones, this one here is kind of tending to be a little bit more narrow and tall. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up a little higher. And this kind of comes out and down. Almost straight down. There we go. Let's see.
So somebody who's starting out painting and they want to invest into a set of paints.
Right.
You know, say 4 or 5. What are the
just paints?
main colors that they should go for first?
Grabbing some Quinacridone Magenta here. I would use, well, if you're going to buy good paint, like, you know, quality paint, get your quality paint in with white first. So that would be the first, like, titanium white in a good paint. I would, if you're just a beginner, I would just get one of those sets of Liquitex Basics. That's what I recommend to my students, because they have just about every color that you want to use right off the bat, and then you can replace them as you run out. So but adding the Quinacridone Magenta there was kind of mixing with my yellow, so it's creating that kind of rusty red color that we want. I need to let this dry though, because it's not wanting to show up. So we'll let that dry and come back to it. Cadmium Yellow Medium, Quinacridone Magenta, Phthalo Blue green shade, and then like a cadmium red light, because you can mix, I'll show you, you can mix cadmium red light and Quinacridone Magenta to get a bright red that's similar to cadmium red medium. And then you can mix your Quinacridone Magenta with Phthalo Blue to get a similar color to the Dioxazine Purple. Ultramarine Blue is a blue that I use a lot. Ultramarine Blue would probably be getting 2 blues and 2 reds, an orange red and a purple red. So orange red, purple blue, green blue. And then you don't really have to have green at all, because green you can mix. This Phthalo green plus cad yellow, you can make something similar to that. And then like a burnt umber, really burnt sienna, probably, because you can make burnt umber by mixing burnt sienna with black. Carbon black would be good to have. And then like a yellow oxide, and you're good to go. So.
Good job.
Thanks. All right, let's do our white irises now. Let's do some of these white ones down in here.
I'm going to switch over to side cam just so people can see the high-tech plastic water container that you're using there.
It's dirty. Will you wash that out for me, actually?
I sure will.
Thank you.
But it's an old, it used to have grapefruit slices in it. And it's like kind of the perfect size. And it has ridges in it that you kind of scrub the bristles on.
It doesn't do a very good job though, because it's kind of like it's too soft, so it doesn't like give enough of a resistance for me.
I was going to sell used grapefruit jars on eBay, and now you just killed my market.
Sorry.
Thanks. off to the next idea.
Well, I like it because it doesn't damage my brushes and it's not as noisy. That's the whole reason I got it, is because it's not as noisy and it's not as heavy. But
Okay, want to take it now? It's okay?
yeah, go for it. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to make this one bigger. I'm kind of making them smaller as I go. I don't know why these are getting smaller as I paint. I need to make it bigger. Okay. And let's see. Let's do another one up here. It's kind of coming behind that one a little bit. This feels so lonely in here when Mark leaves. It's so weird. It's like I'm talking to myself all of a sudden. We could pretend these are on the same stalk because sometimes they'll bloom multiple blooms at once on the same little stem there. And then I'm going to grab some of that, actually that ultramarine blue and purple mixture there. Go along the edges. I know, it was so weird when you leave because I feel like I'm talking to myself all of a sudden. Which I know I'm not, but, you know, technically, like, it just feels like that. It's weird. I think that's why I like doing the live shows more, because I don't like being by myself in my studio recording, talking to myself. And it's an unnatural thing to do, you know. Such a weird job we have.
It makes you feel better that you think that I'm listening to you, so that's all right.
Perfect answer. That was the perfect answer to that. I love that. Touche, touche. That's very true. Going along the edges here. Don't make me giggle now. Oh, God. That's awesome. Grabbing some yellow oxide here and add that down in here. Okay, we'll let that set. I need to go back in over this and just going to pull some of this white down over the top of that purple there. It's really just along the edges that showing up. Okay, and I want a little bit of really dark. Maybe get a little bit of that ultramarine blue there. Same thing with these ones back here. I need to add some contrast, so I'm just going to punch up just a few little areas on these with a little bit of contrast so that they have some depth. Grab some yellow oxide and burnt sienna here. Actually, maybe a little bit of burnt umber. I'm going to go up underneath this one and add a little bit of dark right there. And then let's do this one like as if it's connecting right there. Bless you.
I'm trying to hold it in. I'm
It's just making more noise than it would
I
have.
think my eyeballs are going to pop out of my head next time
You're
I
not
do
supposed
that.
to hold back a sneeze.
Yeah, well.
It's bad for you. It
okay,
can cause a
well.
brain aneurysm.
Really?
Yes, I read it.
Okay,
It's
well,
fact.
I'm going to let the next one fly. I'm sorry, everybody. Hope you're not wearing headphones.
I read it on the interweb. Got to be true, right? Okay. Going back in with this white and just kind of fluffing out these edges a little bit. I want to make this a little taller. Got a little dinky on me. You going without the? Okay, you do it gently, gently. Somebody was saying it was too loud for their ears the other day. In the comments.
I just noticed that I put the sound thing right in front of the disco light there, so it's blocking it
Oh,
all.
that's all right.
But anyways, back to Super Chat. Thank you to Carol. And she says, thanks, Angela and Mark. So appreciate your knowledge and generosity.
Oh,
Oh, thank you, Carol.
thank you, Carol. There we go. All right. So looking good. Getting there. So we're at hour and 15. Let's do our burgundy colored one. So that's going to be, we'll grab that red, Cadmium Red Medium, and our purple. See what that does. Yeah, that's a good color. It's kind of a rusty red. Maybe a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta in there too. Brighten it up just slightly. Okay. So let's do this one down here. Okay. And excuse me, goodness. Let's see, do we want two of those? We'll do a third of the dark purple. Or we'll do another. We've got a little bit of this color up here. Let's add it up in here in this flower right here.
Okay,
Maybe a little bit of white.
They want to know, how did you mix that deep red there?
It's Cadmium Red Medium with purple, and then I added a little bit of Quinacridone Magenta to it as well. Oh yeah, I want that really pretty peach colored one. Let's do one of those. Let's finish this one first. So grabbing some white, mixing that in. Quinacridone Magenta, because it's kind of turning a weird color. We'll add a little bit of that. These dark ones can be hard to shade because you don't want to go too light. And a lot of times the colors that they mix kind of tend to be weird. So just have to kind of keep your base color in mind. In this case, we wanted it kind of like a rosy, rusty red. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the Quinacridone Magenta to the highlights to kind of blend them into the flower so they don't look orange-ish. Right, and then I'm going to grab, super chat.
Kinder, gentler cowbell. How's that? Kind of like a lazy cow on a Sunday.
Well, just turn off your mic. It doesn't have to be loud.
Oh, okay. All right, well, this one's from Sammy. Thank you so much, Sammy. And they say love, love, love.
Oh, glad you're liking it. This is one of my favorite flowers, irises. So I like any blue flowers. The blue flowers are kind of my favorites. So, grabbing some Ultramarine Blue here. And I'm going to come in with that and add a little touches of that in there. Good. I really like that color of that one. I may have to do some more of those. And I want another one of those Ultramarine Blue flowers. So let's do another Ultramarine Blue one. This time we'll do the one that's kind of the middle. Actually, I don't think it's in my original picture. It's in my other photograph here that I'm referring to. So I'm going to do it up here. It's a really pretty blue. It's almost straight ultramarine blue. Just slightly darker than that color. I can't believe my friend was getting rid of... It was like I could not believe she was getting rid of her irises. I think I would have cried if I was there that day that they plowed them over. She didn't want to have to... I mean, granted, it was like the entire side of her yard. So, you know, and she didn't want to mess with them. It would have been a lot of maintenance for sure. But, oh my gosh. Whoever had owned the house before had gone to a lot of trouble and years and years and years of work to get all these beautiful irises and all these different varieties, and then just boom, gone.
Then they came here.
And then, well, that's true. They came here, and they came here, and they died too.
There's a couple hanging on.
A couple. I think that they're still kind of around. If we put them in the right soil, I think they would bounce back, but we just we haven't put out the right environment for them to thrive yet. Yeah, it was such a good idea to put the bird feeder over my flower bed. It was so pretty, all the birds in there and everything, and then we have possums that come in at night, and the possum came through and dumped all of the seed into my flower bed, and that millet just took over, and it was gone. It was gone just like that.
How's that?
Fine.
This is from Tracy. Super chat. Didn't leave a message, so I think she's like, hey, let's do better on the cowbell. So there you go.
Add in white here. Thank you, Tracy. Really appreciate that. All right.
Okay, we got an art question.
Okay.
They want to know, How do you choose the color palette for your painting?
I just kind of go with whatever, it is that I'm painting. I'll try to look and see what it helps if you look at the darkest colors. 'Cause sometimes the lighter colors can fool you, but the darker colors, if you can kind of get those figured out, then and kind of figure out the ones that are underneath those, then your lighter colors are usually mixed from those darker tones, if that makes sense. So that's what I usually look at. I'll just go in and look and see, okay, that's like a dark, burgundy red. What would mix that? And I usually use generally the same palette almost every time I paint, because I'm used to them and I know how they mix. So then I can kind of use that in. I don't think I answered her question very well there, but another one.
Oh, now they're just coming in.
Now everybody's like, yes.
Yeah, let's do this. This one's from Joy. No specific message.
Thank you, Joy.
We'll say,
Happy St. Patty's Day to you.
Hey, there you go. Thanks for doing a great job, hon.
You're welcome. Thanks for spending your Saturday with me doing this when you could be playing your video games.
I know. I was thinking I could probably bring it in and play it off to the side here. It's kind of addicting.
Slightly, yeah. It's hard not to watch it. I can't watch it because it makes me seasick, but it's so hard not to watch it. Okay.
And you are kind of a back couch driver.
I am.
While I'm playing.
I am. Because you miss things.
I miss things. You're telling me how to
save.
Do things.
Well, I tell you to save.
Yeah.
Because you've lost your save.
I did that magnifying thing today, and then I couldn't figure out how to undo it.
Uh-oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Probably just click the same buttons again, no?
Yeah, no, that didn't work. So it took me a few minutes. I finally figured it out.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But I couldn't do anything.
Huh?
Oh, nothing.
So you won't be using it again, is what you're saying?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I have no idea what we're talking about. We'll talk about it later. All right. Just trying to kind of get that one looking like an iris. It's kind of funky. Let's bring this one up over the top of it a little bit. So I have to kind of set it back. There. Okay. Oh, it's looking good. Oh, my irises. Love it.
You can't see it, but Angela's doing a little bit of a chair dance right now.
Yeah. You can see my hand. Doing the happy dance. All right, let's do another one of our dark purple ones, maybe. Or no, I wanted to do another one of those light blue ones. Let's do that. So, same color as before there. Ultramarine blue and white. We'll do it right down in here. Trying to figure out where I want to place it. I'll tuck it in right in here.
Which brush are you using right now?
This is that Filbert, number 6 Filbert by Princeton Select. It's working really well, so I'm happy with it. Good size. It's about probably a 1/4 inch brush. So.
I'm getting rated on how I do my cowbells.
I'm not liking that much cowbell. Sorry. It's annoying.
Thank you, Martha Rose.
Yes.
And she says, love you guys so much. Thank you for such a beautiful paintings.
Oh. Thank you for your super chat donation. That's so sweet.
And now I think I'm in trouble. Oh, I got an 11 out of 10 for that one.
Okay. Don't encourage him.
Yeah, because I got a look.
You did get the look.
I did get a look.
What the heck are you doing over there?
I have one job. Well, actually, I got several.
Okay. No comment. Can I give a negative?
Hey, you remember what it's like over here.
I do.
You come on over here. And,
no, it's all right.
And you didn't even have to ring the cowbell.
I didn't.
You didn't have that added pressure.
That's true. I got off easy there.
Not just anybody can ring a cowbell.
I agree. You know why I bought that cowbell? It was for my friend Day's 30th birthday, and we drove around town and made her moo out the car every time we rang it. And I'm sure people thought we were weird. We also made her do the funky chicken in front of Chick-fil-A.
And there was
all kinds of other embarrassing things.
There was no adult beverages.
No, there wasn't.
That's just their normal
sadly,
behavior.
There was not. No, this is me and my church girlfriends. So no drinking involved.
Maybe some sweet tea.
Yeah, there was lots of sweet tea, for sure. That was one of the funniest things when we went to New York City. Spencer, our 16-year-old, is a sweet tea addict. You know, he loves it. And that's what he gets, you know, instead of soda pop when we go out for dinner. And nobody had sweet tea. Nowhere, none of the restaurants had sweet tea. It was so funny. He's like, what?
We finally found a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
A couple blocks from the hotel.
Got his fix of sweet tea.
He wasn't so happy.
No.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Do they not? It's like, no, we're too far from the south, honey. They just don't do the sweet tea out here.
Okay, now this is Denise's fault.
Okay.
That's all you get, Denise.
I'm on
cowbell timeout.
Give her a good one.
Denise says, "Thanks for making me smile today. Love your tutorial. Love your tutorials always."
Oh, thank you, Denise. That's awesome. For some reason, this one's looking really weird. The picture that I'm looking at, it's kind of crumpled on one side, so I probably just need to make it look more normal. Because it's not...
This one's from Renate. Says, "Thank you for sharing your talent. I love your paintings."
Oh. You're welcome. I love getting to do this. This is like the best thing ever. I get to share what I love to do, and you guys, people actually are interested in it. None of my friends want to paint with me. You guys are my surrogate paint family.
So we had to get people from Australia,
exactly,
South Africa, UK.
I had to pull in
Canada.
people from all over the world to help paint with me.
Over 120,000 right now.
Wow,
that's pretty incredible.
It's mind-boggling. My brain can't even process that.
I know. It's like, wow.
It's like unbelievable. A little Arkansas person here. Arkansas transplant. I know when introducing myself the other night, and it was like, you know, I'm an artist from Arkansas, Russellville, Arkansas, and I was like, I wanted to say via California and Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Arizona. You know, it's like we've lived so many places. I don't feel, but we've been here the longest, so it's just funny. All right, grabbing some of that dark blue, going back up this way. There we go. Okay, I've stopped kind of talking about my colors. I hope you're following me on my palette over here because I've been talking and not really explaining my colors here. So this is Ultramarine Blue and White. I've been using it for the last three flowers here, so I really haven't changed my colors. Oh, I'm liking it. Yay, it's looking good. All right, so let's see. We need something. I'm kind of thinking I might do that peachy one. We're getting close. You're almost at Subnautica time, hon. It's almost there. Just a couple more flowers here.
I mean, people in chat have a fever.
How much time have we've been an hour and a half? Yeah. So
Yeah, but we started a couple minutes late.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Not too bad. Fever for more cowbell?
Well, the only prescription is more cowbell.
Adding some white here to my cadmium yellow edges. There we go. Those yellow ones are a little bit difficult to paint. So let's pop a yellow one in here over here. I feel like I need a yellow one down in here. And some white here. This one really needed to be that cadmium yellow light, really, so I'm going to have to change the color once this dries. Let it dry, and this is a different yellow. Grab some of that cadmium yellow light there and try to add some of that over the top. Okay, we're going to have to just let those set and come back to it because it's not going to look like anything yet. All right, and then let's see. Oh yeah, we have that peach one. And you could do these all in the same color, so don't feel like you have to do the same colors as me. I'm just doing all these different colors because I have them available, but they can be, you know, all the same if you want, or, you know, 2, 3 colors, just whatever makes you happy. So mix some orange with my Quinacridone Magenta here. Cadmium Orange, Quinacridone Magenta. I'll make kind of a salmony color. Grab some of that white.
Got a special request for a pale yellow flower, if possible.
Yeah, that one's going to be pale yellow.
Okay.
I just have to adjust it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be that pale, this color. All right, let's add this in right here.
just realized we're still on YouTube. It's like,
What?
I just realized we're still on YouTube.
What do you
It was
mean
just
by
real
that?
quiet.
Oh, I
You
know.
weren't saying anything. I was saying, I was just
Sorry.
I was
You know.
watching chat, like, we should say something maybe. I could sing, I guess, break it up.
I need to do these bigger. I keep making them small. My picture is small, so I'm kind of scaling them the same size as my picture. I'm realizing I need to scale them up for my canvas. Bring this a little bit wider. There we go.
Okay, so for this peachy color, you mixed up who?
Quinacridone Magenta and Cadmium Orange. And then I'm going to add some Cadmium Yellow highlights. Mix that in with my orange with white. Use that as my highlight color. I'm just looking at the places where the light's hitting. Generally, this area right here is going to be your darkest area because the light's not penetrating down into those little folds. So, and then as the petals come up and around, they're going to catch more light. So generally, they're going to be a little bit lighter around the tips or where they're poking out at you more, like right in here. And then the one thing that the Patreon folks do also get is they get all the reference photos, so that they'll have a reference photo of both of these that I'm using for my reference today to be able to look at while they're painting. And using white now.
And that's all of Patreon, $1 and $5?
No, the $5 level.
$5 and $10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, $5 and $10. No, but usually I post the reference photos on the Facebook too beforehand, at least one or two of them. So there's usually ways to find them if you don't want to have to pay for them. But it's just convenient. Convenience. All right, let's grab a little bit of that dark burgundy color. Mix that with my orange there. Use a bit of it right here. A little bit of white. I'm trying to see. Well, let's grab a little cadmium orange. It's kind of an orange color, the tongue on these ones. So we'll do that. Maybe a little bit of yellow. And I'm barely touching, using the little corner of my brush to get these little dabs of color on these centers of my flowers. So grab some white, go back over that because it's a little bit dark. And let's go ahead and add a little bit more white highlights on that one. Okay, and then let's, now that we've got this white in our brush, we can use it on my yellow flowers over here. I'm going to grab a little bit of that yellow to mix with it, but I really want it more like white. And I'm going to the center of that one. Running out of spots on my palette here. This is Cadmium Yellow Light with white. And then I'm going to use some of the burgundy with a little bit of yellow oxide to do the center part here. And then let's use some of the yellow oxide with the Cadmium Yellow Medium to shadow some of the petals up and around the sides there. Give them a little bit darker color. I want it to be able to be visible against that dark background, so I'm just going to kind of, there we go. Add that, wipe that off, grab some of my white with my Cadmium Yellow Light here, and then go back in and add some more of that. There we go.
You're still with that number 6 Filbert?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to use this, I think, for the rest of them there. It's working pretty well. So, it's just small enough to be able to get these little details that I need. Alright, so, going with this white and Cadmium Yellow Light. I'm going to grab some of that. I'll grab the yellow oxide here. Actually, there's a little bit of green in there. Let's grab the green. Mix that with the yellow oxide. That'll be good. Okay, that'll be the good color. Sorry, talking to myself. It happens a lot. There we go. Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So that green will be a good base for that pale yellow for our darkest parts of it. Grabbing some more of that Cadmium Yellow Light. And the Cadmium Yellow Light just has a little bit of greenish tint. It's just a light, brighter, more vivid yellow. Lemon yellow would work. Anything like that that's got more of a green tone than an orange tone. The Cadmium Yellow Medium is just more of an orangey yellow. There we go. And grab the white. A little bit of the orange with some yellow for the center here. Grab some more of the brighter yellow, cadmium yellow light, and punch up some of these darker areas with that. I'm going to use some of that yellow oxide. I'm going to go across here. Just make sure I've got kind of a separation here. There we go. Okay, more white. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this right. It's this yellow is difficult to get the values just right. You get the color right, but then the values aren't right because it just turns into a big yellow blob. So you're just gonna need to kind of keep going back and forth until you can get just the right balance between that dark area and the lighter areas. This is this yellow oxide here. There we go. I think that's getting a little bit closer. And then a little bit of that orangey color. Orangey yellow. Cadmium orange mixed with the cadmium yellow for that center there. Okay, I think I'm happy with it now. All right, I think I've got all the colors in that I wanted. I might want another bud over in here. Let's do maybe another one that's burgundy. Well, there's none left. Well, let's do another one of these pink ones over here. That was Quinacridone Magenta and Purple. We'll do like a couple that are starting to bloom over here in that pink color. Maybe another one down in here. A little bit of white. And then we'll make the buds for them to be setting in. Grab that yellow oxide with phthalo green. Some unbleached titanium with that teal color that we had before. Okay. And now I'm going to go in and add some leaves over the top of some of these to set them back. So I'm going to mix up some more of that turquoise color and grab my, what brush was it? This one. Actually, I need to take those out of the water. They're going to split. I've been sitting in there a while.
So, which brush did
This
you
is
just
the
grab?
bright, the number 4 bright, I think. Yeah. Some a little bit of the Unbleached Titanium. And let's see. Okay. So let's put this. Oh, I hate covering these up, but I know it's not. You really need to do it. It's just like I don't want to do it. Let me look at my picture here. Okay, so most of these are, the leaves are behind them. This one's got one kind of covering it up right here. So we can maybe, let's do one that's coming up right here. That's doing kind of like that. Okay, then I'm going to add white, or get a little bit more of that Unbleached Titanium. And go back over it. Just looking for little spots where I want to add a little bit of different color. This is more blue than what I was using before, so just one more layer of detail. Let's use a little bit of the brown with the bleached titanium here. And those ones there, they just don't want to show up against that background. We can add a little bit more brown. Darken them up. There we go. And I think I want some really bright highlights on some of the leaves. I think I'm pretty happy with the flowers. I'm going to use that Unbleached Titanium with just a little bit of yellow. Mix that teal in there. Don't want it quite bright, so not too much teal. And the yellow will give it more of a sunny feeling, more sunlight hit, feeling. So we'll just hit the tips of some of these to make them really pop. Is that word again?
Soda.
Hmm?
Soda.
Grab some white here. So these last little bits, that's what really will kind of bring that painting to the next level, make it a little bit more dynamic, draw the eye around the canvas a little bit more so we can pull the eye, around. Manipulate it. We'll go ahead and go over the top of that one just a little bit. Okay. I got a hair stuck in there. It's probably been there the whole time. Nobody told me. Okay. Green. I don't want that bright color going right off the canvas because I don't want it to lead the eye off the canvas completely. So that's why I darken that up a little bit. Let's grab that really bright color. Let's do a little bit of highlights on some of these that are sticking out here. Some of that yellow. Okay, we're about done. Just last few little bits here. I think I'm happy with it. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you try it. If you do, be sure to share it with me on my social media. I haven't been as active lately because trying to rest my arms, but my arms definitely on the mend. Been feeling a lot better, so hopefully I'll be back on soon to see all of your projects here. But in the meantime, have a great weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday night if you're a patron for whatever it is we're going to be painting. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be posting that link here pretty soon. Oh yeah, I was going to splatter. And then let me grab some. What color do I want? I'll do some brown.
Man, you had me fooled. I thought we were actually done.
Phthalo green here. Phthalo blue, I mean.
I've been doing this long enough. I should not have fallen for that.
I know. You should have known. I'm just trying to get the right color here. Okay. This is a new fan brush. I'm not exactly sure. That's not wanting to come up there. There we go. Just a few. All right, that's good enough.
just because we can.
Hashtag splatter movement.
Splatter movement.
Yeah. And I was going to sign it too. Sign it real quick. Down here. Wipe off my chalk marks. So we can see what we got. Oh, and I just wiped some of my spray. I know. This is a Sakura FB Pigment pen. One thing that I did want to mention is that if you're using a varnish that has alcohol in it, it can reactivate the pen, so be sure that you seal it with a very light spray of something first. And if you do it light enough, it shouldn't mix with it. And then, or you can go over it with like a little bit of a gloss medium or something like that to seal it, and then you can varnish over the top. But anyhow, there we have it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.